Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we make sense of the news that actually moves markets, and today we're digging into American Financial Group's latest update. Get ready for some stock buybacks and debenture details that might just surprise you, and don't forget to hop into our Discord server linked in this video's description for more real-time insights. Alright, so what is the scoop with American Financial Group, or AFG Incorporated as they're officially known? They filed what's called a Form 8K, which is basically their way of telling the public about big news as it happens. Think of it as a company's urgent bulletin board. Now, AFG Incorporated is a pretty established player, and they have various forms of debt, like these debentures. We see a few mentioned here with different interest rates and maturity dates. For example, there are the 5.875% subordinated debentures due in 2059, and another set, the 4.5% subordinated debentures due in 2060. These are essentially loans the company has taken out, and these filings keep everyone in the loop about them. But the real headline here, the thing that usually gets investors excited, is what they decided to do with their own stock. On the 3rd of December of 2025, the big bosses at AFG Incorporated gave the green light to a new plan. They're going to buy back up to a whopping 5 million shares of their own company stock. That is a pretty significant amount. What does that mean for you and me? Well, when a company buys back its own shares, it reduces the total number of shares floating around. Think of it like cutting a pizza into fewer slices. Each remaining slice, or share in this case, represents a slightly larger piece of the company. This can often lead to an increase in the stock price because there is more demand for fewer shares. Plus, it shows the company's leadership believes their stock is a good investment, good enough to buy it back from the market. This new buyback program is set to run until the end of 2030, meaning they have a good chunk of time to execute it. The old buyback program, which was set to expire at the end of 2025, is now being replaced. Looking at what's traded on major exchanges, we see their common stock trading under the ticker AFG on the New York Stock Exchange. Then there are those subordinated debentures we mentioned earlier, like the 5.875% ones due in 2059. Also on the NICE with the ticker AFGB, they also have the 5.125% debentures due in 2059, ticker AFGC, the 5.625% due in 2060, ticker AFGD, and the 4.5% due in 2060, ticker AFGH. It shows they have various ways they raise capital and different types of financial instruments out there. This section, Other Events, is where the real news often is, and in this case, it's all about that share repurchase program. The company management gets to decide when and how much they buy based on what's happening in the market and with their business. They aren't forced to buy any specific number of shares. This flexibility allows them to act opportunistically when they feel the price is right or when they want to return value to shareholders. And finally, the last part of the report just confirms what documents are included. Nothing too groundbreaking there for us today. Now, let's get to the big picture analysis. American Financial Group Incorporated is a large insurance and financial services company. Their decisions about stock buybacks are usually a signal of confidence. It means they are generating enough cash flow and believe their stock is undervalued or a good use of capital compared to other investment opportunities. Replacing an expiring buyback with a new, larger one, or one with a longer duration, suggests a continued commitment to returning capital to shareholders. When a company authorizes a significant stock repurchase, it can have a few effects. It can increase earnings per S-share because the same profits are divided among fewer shares. It can also signal to the market that management is optimistic about the company's future. Of course, it is not all upside. The company needs to have sufficient cash or access to credit to fund these buybacks. If they borrow heavily to repurchase shares, it could increase their financial risk. We need to keep an eye on their overall debt levels and how profitable they are in generating cash to see if this buyback is sustainable and truly in the best interest of long-term value creation. For AFG Incorporated, this move to repurchase shares tells us they are likely in a strong financial position, generating solid profits and cash. It shows a strategic decision to enhance shareholder value. The variety of subordinated debentures also indicates a structured approach to managing their capital, balancing different debt maturities and interest rates. As investors, we want to see companies use their capital wisely. Buying back stock can be a very effective way to do that, especially if the stock is trading at a reasonable valuation. The fact that they are replacing an expiring program with a new one shows a consistent strategy, not just a one-off event prompted by a temporary market condition. It provides a level of predictability for investors who might be looking for consistent returns and capital appreciation. So what's the verdict on AFG Incorporated? They're showing signs of a healthy, confident company that's actively managing its capital structure and returning value to its shareholders. The consistent approach to buybacks and the diversification of their debt instruments suggest a mature and well-managed business. The primary risk here would be if the market conditions were to change dramatically, impacting their ability to generate sufficient cash flow to continue these aggressive buybacks, or if they overpay significantly for their own stock. But based on this filing, they appear to be making smart strategic moves. Alright, that is our breakdown of American Financial Group's latest filing. What is your take on these share buybacks and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives like this. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description to join the conversation. Thanks for watching. See you next time.